Okay, welcome back to my Let's Play of Final Fantasy XIV. It has been a little bit of time here, hasn't it? It's been a break. We don't want that too loud, I suppose. When I'm recording for the other channel, I don't play with music on. Anyways. So... yeah, after months of, like, non-stop daily Final Fantasy XIV content, we sort of ran into a hiatus. And, but patch 5.5 is out now, as we build up towards, Endwalker. And, yeah, so... yeah, I haven't really played this character much. I mean, most of my playtime has been on my other character for the Exploring series. So, I'm gonna be definitely a little rusty with Astrologian. My goal was to have my White Mage at 80 for this, but I didn't quite get there. My White Mage is at 76. So, it's fine. I like Astrologian too. It's all good. So we're just gonna see how it goes, I suppose. We're heading into here to speak with Alize. Unto the breach. Good news, Mangg. Thancred and Urianger have finished their tour of Garlemald and are on their way back here even as we speak. As we still haven't heard anything on the towers from the Alliance, I'm hoping they might be able to shed some light on things. They're due to arrive any moment now, so let's see what they have to say, eh? Ah, welcoming party. You needn't have gone to the trouble. From what I hear, you've been more than busy enough as it is. Honestly, you might have waited for me to return before discovering a cure for tempering. As it is, I can't even pretend to have been involved. Well, if it's any consolation, I myself was little more than a spectator. The lion's share of the credit must go to Alize, Graha, and Mangg. But I believe I speak for the rest of us when I say we are proud to have rendered what little assistance we could. As you will also have heard, though, it hasn't all been tales of triumph. Just as we were taking a step towards finally addressing the primal threat, a pile of fresh problems landed in our lap. Anyway, it's good to have you back. Though I can't help noticing that we're one Urianger short of a scouting party. You haven't lost him, have you? Oh, I couldn't lose him if I tried. And I did try, repeatedly. But no, he decided to linger in Alamigo to apprise Rauban and the others of how the land lies in Garlemald. Then mayhap you would do the same for us. Indeed. It was just as Lise said. Worse, in fact. Devastation as far as the eye could see. Nerva and the Third, however, were notable by their absence. Might they have met their end at the hands of Xenos and Fandaniel? Perhaps. Or perhaps they simply lost the will to fight. You see, the capital has been plunged into a deathly silence, with one exception, the Imperial Palace. It was a busy place before the war, but it has grown busier still, with throngs of soldiers and civilians working there day and night to rebuild, or rather, transform it. Transform it? Into what? That is a difficult question to answer. The construction is vast and unsettling to behold, like something from a nightmare. According to Urianger, certain aspects of its designs were clearly devised with the manipulation of ether in mind. Magitech, in other words. Yet as unnerving as said edifice was, it was nothing next to the sight of its builders. They swarmed the place like so many insects, working with nary a word exchanged between them. No one overseeing construction, no one barking orders. It was as if they were possessed, or tempered. We wanted to investigate more closely, but given our suspicions, it seemed wiser not to take the risk. If Fandaniel could bind Bahamut to his will, might he have done the same to the people of Garlemald? Whatever the truth may be, this information is certain to prove valuable. You have our thanks. Well, be sure to save some for Urianger. Which reminds me, I have a message from Alamigo. Bon is hosting a meeting to discuss the latest findings on the towers, and he requested our presence. Then why not leave that to us? You must be weary from your mission. No, I'm fine. Those towers have been on my mind since I first spied one on the way back, and I'm keen to get to the bottom of this. In that case, I shall stay and begin looking into another matter, as I promised Kryl. We need not all attend. Oh boy, it's gonna be a rough video. Very well, I suggest the rest of us make our way to Alamigo forthwith. The sooner we leave, the more time we will have to speak with Urianger before the meeting. So, yeah, the coloring is not really to my liking. Normally I play with Filmic Pass on, which makes it a lot better, but for some reason, I don't know, there's some like fuckery going on with the reshade. Maybe I need to update it or something. That's probably it. There's like some weird box around my astral gauge here, whereas if I turn it off, it's not there, but then all of the UI is very vibrant, which I guess that's the trade-off. I suppose for cutscenes, I'd rather just have the good colors. So let's roll with that. All right, so we're heading to Alamigo. See, I'm just trying to like refresh my mind on the state of the plot currently. I remember the towers now, and I remembered Fandaniel and Xenos teaming up. My friends, much and more have I heard of your travails in our absence. Heartened am I to see you all hale and whole. As we to see you safely return from your mission, Urianger. I trust Thancred made you feel welcome. Oh well, if it isn't Alphinaud and his merry band. Ironfall, whatever are you doing here? When we spoke via Link Pearl, you told me you'd be away on a mission. Who's to say this isn't part of it? But enough about that. It's good to see you looking so similar. I thought you'd have grown a bit taller after a whole year in another world, but apparently not. I'm sorry to disappoint you. While my soul may be a year older, my body has hardly aged, as you are well aware. And may I remind you that we Elizin are known to be late bloomers, especially in terms of our height. Mark my words, the day will come when even a great Auroch such as yourself will crane your neck to meet my eye. Aye, 'twas not until my 20th summer that I myself outgrew my boyish proportions, though Moonbrita towered over me nonetheless. Hartwald brings out the best in Alphinaud, doesn't he? They both seem so at ease in each other's company. It's almost endearing. So what exactly brings you here? Oh, Fordola, mostly. We need to go over a few things before we set out. Set out? Wait, does this have something to do with the towers? Eh? What gave you that impression? Actually, tell me later. You've got a meeting to go to. I'll see you afterwards, alright? If Fordola's going with him, that must mean... My apologies. As Arnvald rightly pointed out, we have a meeting to attend. Let us be about it. There's the whole crew.
Ere we begin, I would like to offer my gratitude to Masters Thancred and Urianger. 'Tis no small feat to infiltrate the Imperial capital, and live to tell the tale, much less in times of civil war. Thanks to them, we may plot our course in full knowledge of how the winds blow in Garlemald.
Full glad are we to have been of service. But verily, such dangers as we did encounter pale into insignificance next to those faced by our comrades. An Ascian, armed with the might of Bahamut, bent on bringing about the final days.
Theatrics. He sought only to make a show of the power at the Telophoroid's disposal. But since then we have seen no sign of this Fandaniel or his worm. And while we've done what we can to bolster our defenses, there's no telling where he might strike next.
Whenever and wherever it may be, we must use the intervening time to learn more of our enemy. 'Twas with this in mind that we dispatched scouts to investigate the towers.
Our advance party took longer than expected to return. And when they did, they tried to kill us. Luckily, I'd seen that sort of thing before, and we were able to restrain them before they did any harm. Then it was just a matter of letting the Porksies do their work.
Are you saying they were tempered?
Once they'd come back to their senses, they told us everything they could. It seems that just as they were getting close to the tower, they heard an ear-splitting roar. And that was the last thing they remembered. But what worries me most is what they were saying right before they attacked. Glory be to Garlemald.
The Tempered have heretofore ever been thralls to primal entities. Yet these hapless souls were compelled to accept a nation as the object of their devotion. This calleth into question all that we know of the condition.
Would that the unsettling news ended there. Alas, there is more. Following the earlier reports of missing Amalja, we have learnt that other beast tribes have suffered similar losses. And we now have reason to believe that the abductions are connected to the appearance of the towers. Our scouts sighted black-garbed figures leading shackled Ixal in the direction of the tower in Dravania. The Temple Knights were able to intercept them before they could reach their destination, liberating the Ixal and apprehending their captors, each of whom was found to be equipped with Garlean arms and armor.
So, the Empire is the common thread.
With the support of Xenos, it seems likely that Fandaniel has rallied a faction of the splintered Garlean army to the banner of the Telophoroi.
Lord Hien reached the same conclusion when I shared our findings with Doma. The plan had been to march on Garlemald from the east and west in order to force a peace treaty. But the situation has changed. Dealing with the threat of the towers must come first. Given the nature of the enemy and the proven risk of tempering, I could think of few suitable candidates to aid in this task. but I am confident in my choice.
What?
Resistant to primal influence as they are, they can investigate the towers without fear of being turned.
We're glad to put our gifts to use, Commander.
Gifted or not, going behind enemy lines remains a perilous undertaking. But we must know more if we're to strike back at our foe. I'm counting on you.
If it would give us the upper hand, I'd do it 100 times over. We won't let you down.
What are we, some kind of suicide squad?
That concludes the briefing. You two, make ready and join your escort.
Are you certain about this, Arenvold?
I am. Come on, let's talk outside.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a peace treaty with Garlemald. Something tells me. Now that it's out in the open, I don't have to keep it under my proverbial hat anymore.
So you know, I've already gone through all the formalities at the Rising Stones. Made sure to inform Jamoldva and Vmar at Ralga's Reach as well.
Arenvold, I admire your enthusiasm, but this is far more dangerous than anything you have done before.
I know the risks. And I also know what's in store if we don't stop Fandaniel from carrying out his plan. With this power of mine, I can make a difference. If I stood idly by, I would regret it for the rest of my life.
And you, Fudola? Is this what you want?
What are you asking me for? It's not like I have any say in the matter.
Don't pretend. We both know Commander Eldin gave you a chance to refuse. And you didn't.
So the Empire's finished, is it? Well, that's what they're all saying. That the great and glorious Garlemald slit its own throat. And now, from out of its twitching carcass crawls the Telophoroi with bloody Xenos at its head! I fought for Garlemald. Killed for Garlemald. What was I part of? I need to know. Whatever it is, I need to know.
Very well. If your hearts are set on this, I shall not stand in your way.
If you've finished with your touching display of camaraderie, I have a question. Which tower are you planning to investigate, exactly?
Well, the one in Girabani is said to be tightly guarded. It's patrol after patrol out there, apparently. We'd be spotted before we got anywhere near it. Which is why we've set our sights on the one in Pagalthan instead. There shouldn't be anything like as many Imperials to worry about down there.
Even so, I doubt the local Amalja will look kindly on it if they catch you sneaking around in their territory.
Fordola and I had a chance to learn the lie of the land in our previous forays there. We might still find trouble, but at least we won't lose our way. Well, we'd best not keep them waiting any longer.
Mayhap when all of this is over, we could take another trip to Loxeld. I would have you know I've become a rather capable swimmer since our last visit.
Ha! I'll believe that when I see it. Though, to be fair, getting into deep water does seem to be a scion's lot in life. Take care, eh? It means a lot, you know. You coming with me.
I'll still owe you for saving my skin, don't I? Can't return the favour if I'm not there.
I dare say you'll get your chance before long. That Fandaniel sounds like a tricky customer. Too much for the likes of me, anyway. But we both know I'd just be another soldier if it weren't for my gift. And I need to be a damn sight more than that given what's coming. I realise I can't hold a candle to a hero like the Warrior of Light, or Alphino for that matter. He might look like he's 12, but he's seen more action than most people see in a lifetime. No, the fact is I'm nothing like them, and maybe I never will be. But I'll be damned if I don't try. They're counting on me. On us. So let's give it our all.
Well, this guy really sounds like he's gonna die.
He does not want for conviction, that much is certain. So let us have faith in him. Him and Fordola both. While they see to the towers, I would attend to another task. Chasing down this lunar Bahamut.
Ah, bloody thing. Can you hear me? It's Tataru. Ah, I'm happy to say we've managed to find Estinian. And I'm sorry to say he went running off again the moment we told him about Bahamut. But he did mutter something about heading to Ishgard, so if you're quick, you might still be able to catch him.
Even if we set out this instant, he may already have left by the time we arrive. Have her send the Bonanza to Ishgard. It may prove useful should we need to give chase.
Gladly. I'll see to it as soon as Kryl and I get back to the Rising Stones. Good luck.
While you go off on your dragoon hunt, Urianger and I will return to headquarters. We have much to tell the others.
I wish you every success in your search for our elusive friend. May we all meet again ere long.
All right, that was one quest, so that's good. You know, the old recap. So, Garlemald is in complete turmoil because their emperor died, thanks to Xenos. Xenos, I guess, could become the new emperor, except he doesn't want to, because he's trying to do some crazy shit. And he's teamed up with Fandaniel, who's just a fucking nutcase of an Ascian, even by Ascian standards, because he basically just wants everything in existence to die, which is pretty cartoonish. So now there's all these towers popping up, and like there's disappearing beastmen that are being seen like taken towards the towers for some purpose. Lunar Bahamut has shown up. So Estinian was bound for Ishgard. Whatever it is that brings him home, we must hope it will keep him there long enough for us to find him. Come, there's no time to lose. Alright. Over to Ishgard now. Bopping around. All present? Good. Let us split up and search for Estinian. Since we're relatively new to this place, Graha and I will look around the open spaces, the squares and markets and whatnot. You and Mangg can delve into the nooks and crannies. Very well. Let us reconvene at the airship landing later, with or without Estinian. Good luck. I think I shall begin at the Skysteel Manufactory, so perhaps you could try the Congregation. Lucia may well have heard news of our friend's return. Okay. Let's do a little Ethernet to the Cathedral. That wasn't right, was it? No, that wasn't correct at all. What did he say? Oh, right, the Forgotten Knight. That's where we go. So quick. Hanging out with Wind-Up X-Death. Yeah. I might have gotten that from fighting X-Death, which was a really sweet fight, and I remember doing that one. That was cool. Good morrow to you, Warrior of Light. Lord Emmerich sent word that you would be attending the meeting in Alamigo, so I gather you have not come in search of him. To what then do we owe the pleasure of your visit? I see. No, we were not aware Sir Estinian had returned to Ishgard, but as I expect you remember, he is wont to come and go as he pleases. Mayhap he came seeking an audience with Lord Emmerich, only to find him absent. In any event, I'm afraid I cannot help you. Perhaps one of your companions has fared better. The Astrologicum. That Foundation music, so good.
No sign of him. Not that I've ever met him before, but the way Alphino goes on about him, I'm fairly sure I could pick him out in a crowd.
Speaking of which, it does seem awfully quiet. If the erstwhile Azure Dragoon had returned to Ishgard, would it not be a source of general excitement?
First the Scion's Coinkeeper, and now you. I'm beginning to think these meetings are more than mere coincidence. Not that I'm complaining. It's been too long.
too long.
You look an ilm taller and twice as rugged. It suits you, Alphino.
Ooh, boy.
Quieter, though. Have you been giving him lessons on how to be the strong, silent type?
I am not Alphino! If the two of you are such firm friends, perhaps you should remember what he looks like. And what do you mean, rugged? Ugh! Had my brother mentioned what an oaf you are, I'd never have bothered looking for you in the first place.
That's probably a good sign you gotta change your haircut.
Estinian Wormblood, the Azure Dragoon. He who fought and felled the dread worm Nidhogg at the Warrior of Light's side. To think the day would come when I should see this living legend with my own eyes.
This is just a really awkward conversation.
Would someone mind explaining what is going on?
Is everything all right? I thought I heard Alize shouting. Estinian! It's been too long.
That's a rough one, man.
No, it's quite understandable. That was hardly the first time we've been confused for one another. Nor, I suspect, will it be the last.
Well, I, for one, will not be making that mistake again. What I will say, for the second time today, is that you've grown. Inside and out. I can tell.
One can't remain a spoiled little lordling forever, you know.
At least someone's having a good time. You know, when we were growing up, Alphino would never befriend other boys because he couldn't stand the thought of not being in charge. But maybe that's changed. He seems just as happy around Estinian as he does Arenvald.
Think he learned how to talk with people rather than at them.
I wouldn't be so sure. He still loves nothing better than the sound of his own voice.
No rest for the righteous, eh? Speaking of which, I was just on my way to borrow an airship to take me to Azisla.
Azisla? How could I forget? The dragon with whom Bahamut shared the deepest of bonds.
Aye, Tiamat, his mate. Even now she remains imprisoned on Azisla, though her remorse binds her faster than any shackle.
Tiamat?
I see. As the one who first summoned Bahamut, you believe she may be able to shine some light on his latest incarnation.
Might I suggest that we make the journey to Azisla together? I'm not sure if Tataru mentioned this, but we Scions have an airship of our own now.
I see no reason why not. Assuming your sister can bear the thought of sharing a deck with me.
Be my guest. But confuse me with Alphino again and I'll throw you overboard. Ugh! I don't know who he thinks he is, but he's nothing like Alphino painted him to be.
I will admit, he is not exactly as I imagined him either. Based on what I had read of the man, I think I was expecting someone a little less blunt?
So they're gonna bang, huh? Not a great start to a relationship. Confusing the girl with her twin brother, but, you know. It has been quite some time since I last set foot in Azizla, but I understand the three of you were here rather more recently. I don't suppose you chanced to meet with Tiamat during your visit? Alas not. We had no cause to set foot here in the Delta Quadrant, but I have studied the relevant records, which is not to say I wouldn't appreciate a first-hand account of your dealings with her. Well then, Mangg is the person to ask. As far as I know, he's the only one of us to have met Tiamat face to face. Let's just say it helped that Midgard Zormir was there to introduce me. Ah, yes, you were a friend of her father. I too have met with Tiamat. After the Dragon Song War came to a close, I came here to speak with her. A worm who had fought her own war against man in another age. I wished to know if she yet harbored thoughts of vengeance, and asked as much. She said no. My hatred for your kind was extinguished long ago. But the guilt she feels for resurrecting Bahamut burns on undimmed. It torments her even now. I see. Then your original reason for coming here was out of concern that Tiamat had been forced to summon Bahamut. Idhogg is a part of me. I feel his emotions as my own, and I know that he would not allow his sister to be made a tool of evil. In his absence, it falls to me to watch over her. Pizza? Simple but satisfying dish of thinly worked dough, topped with tomatoes and cheese, baked in a wood-fired oven until crispy. Missed spinach quiche. And Twilight Popoto salad. Shredded Twilight apples give this Popoto salad a crunchy texture and fruity tang. Well, might as well just go with that pizza. Alrighty, good stuff. Back in Azizla. Tiamat awaits. This way. Let's see here. Where am I going? Alright. Yeah.
Edkin Elfin Wafesk Lesnon in.
My sire's mortal companion, what bringeth thee back to this forsaken place, child of man?
It's plain she knows naught of recent events. Perhaps you should enlighten her.
Ah, that my sin should be repeated. I sensed not the faintest stirring. As to who could have called him forth, I know of none save the dragons of Mericidia, our children.
an esh I kin in. Esh knir le I an esh in.
The Icon claimed their souls when first he manifested, and robbed of their will, they became tools for the Allagan's dark designs.
Much like those held here in Asisla. If dragons who worship Bahamut are required to summon him, that must mean...
Es Tahidra Mera Ash An Shish.
Yes, the dragons of Mericidia are at the mercy of this Asian. There can be no other explanation.
Ash An I die by now.
Accursed Asians, vile minions of darkness.
Ten Esh An Esh In. Esh I An Kin Antun U Esh I. Ines. Tu in Aisto now.
Again, you would profane the memory of my beloved and strip our children of their freedom, their dignity. Are there no depths to which you will not stoop?
Your children's pain means nothing to them. They laugh at your kind suffering. But tears will not right this wrong, nor will lamentation see the perpetrators punished.
Snosk an ta in Dramon.
What wouldst thou have from me, slayer of dragons?
Behavior befitting a great worm. We came here to ask mighty Tiamat of the First Brood, consort of Bahamut, mother of the dragons of Mericidia, what she intends to do about the crimes committed against her children.
Santalan infan antosk. Kaush lent on.
Were I free, I would answer thine insolence with fire, but words shall have to suffice.
Ale o esk an in. Ale kum ak in.
Okay. Recall, mortals, that it was I who did first summon my beloved, praying with all my being to bring him forth. You, who contend with icons, cannot well be ignorant of the consequence.
You too were exposed to his influence. That you are yet in possession of your own will is testament to the indomitable strength of your soul. But were you to meet with Bahamut again, you fear you might succumb.
Es Snoska Dramon Kin Nestra in Iles I Nesh An Ala.
Indeed, ask the Dragon Slayer, and he will tell thee the power we of the First Brood wield. Were I to lose myself to the Icon's influence, all would pay the price.
Unmik Nalstra ul an Antal an Smon Tahi an.
But it is of little matter, for even had I the strength to resist, I yet lack the strength to break my shackles. This prison shall be my tomb.
On the matter of Bahamut's influence, at least, I believe we can be of some assistance. If you're afraid of being enthralled, don't be. We have a cure. And while we've never tried it on one such as you, its basic principles are universal.
Speakest thou in earnest?
There is no future for those bound to the past. That you committed a terrible sin, I do not dispute. But if you feel remorse, you may yet make amends. We offer you that chance. Take it, or you will forever remain a prisoner, not of these cruel shackles, but of your own guilt.
Sahaan, Setso, Kin Bahamut, and
Oh, shit. Well.
An Sumon, Na An Ingles, Snaloles Dish An, Na Ala An Ul An Sin An, Stan In.
When our own star faced annihilation, Hydaelyn granted us sanctuary, and now your foes would bring about her destruction. This I cannot allow. For the debt I owe to Hydaelyn and to all who have suffered for my sins, I shall fight with you, children of man. Alright, Tiamat's on our side. Orxies have been shown to be effective in curing the tempered. Tiamat must be considered a special case. She is far, far larger and immeasurably more powerful than any subject treated thus far. Were we to remove her restraints only to find that the process had failed, we would be hard-pressed to contain her. Then, before going ahead, we should learn as much as we can about the exact nature of her condition. Do you suppose we can find that information here? Why, yes, we can. We can indeed. The Allegans kept detailed records on all their notable captives, and I know exactly where to look. And we shall leave that to you then. In the meantime, the rest of us can turn our thoughts to the removal of those shackles. I know Alphino and Mangg here well enough, but not you. Are you certain you're ready to see this through? Rest assured, Sir Estinian, that I am both ready and willing to give my all for the sake of this star, though that is not my only reason for wanting to set Tiamat free. While I do not claim to know all of her sorrows, I too once found myself in a prison of despair, and I well understand how hard it can be to dare to dream of escape. It took the encouragement of braver souls than I am to make me take the first step towards a brighter future, and now I would help Tiamat do the same. I gather you are not as young as you look. When our work here is done, we could trade tales over a pot of Tataru's famous tea. Be indebted to her for the leaves and hot water? I think not. I see. Returning swiftly to the task at hand, then. I believe the nodes governing Tiamat's restraints are located in the sector known as the Flagship. Yes, and we are familiar with it. The Etherochemical Research Facility in particular. Oh, you may wish to take this. A spirit vessel containing a small amount of my blood. Which you just happen to be carrying around with you. I suppose that could seem rather odd. To explain, Rambros, Urianger, and I are researching the use of spirit vessels in the transference not only of memories, but the traits of certain bloodlines. And so I keep one at the ready should an opportunity to test our theories arise. As for its use to you, you may recall that during our previous visit, the nodes here granted access to restricted functions, having identified me as being of royal blood. and armed with that spirit vessel, I posit that they will do the same for you, even in the absence of, well, the rest of me. It seemed worth a try, at least. Agreed. We will take good care of it. To the flagship, then. Alright, let's rock and roll. Now, what are the odds that Tiamat doesn't eventually turn on us and it's a big cool boss battle? Or maybe they're kind of sick of dragon boss battles. So maybe that'll have to wait a while. There they are. Let us split up and search the flagship for the node that controls Tiamat's restraints. But should you find a likely candidate, do not be tempted to make any adjustments. It would not do to accidentally release some manner of experimental monstrosity, nor less Tiamat herself in her current state. Our objective at this stage is simply to identify the relevant node or nodes. Once we have learned what we can, we should reconvene and compare notes prior to proceeding. Alright, but how will I really know? I guess if it just has like a label next to it with a picture of Tiamat. Oh, but listen to this song. How can I get off the mount when this song's going? I think we're on like this highway. So good. Alright. Data link with Delta Quadrant broken. Possible cause, intruder interference. Advised deployment of automated combat units. Proceed. Okay, I guess that's a no. We're gonna go with a no on that one. Blip bloop. Warning. Scheduled dragon restraint maintenance due in negative 2020 years. Failure to verify system integrity may result in unscheduled specimen release. Okay. Friction between metallic components detected. Temperature increasing to critical levels. Please replace damaged parts or retreat to a safe distance. Spin, turtle, spin. I'm afraid Estini and I have little to show for our efforts. Did you find anything? Yes, a chirping node which spontaneously warned me about neglecting the dragon restraints. Spontaneously, you say? Well, that does sound promising. Almost suspiciously so, in fact. But then you were in possession of the spirit vessel. I dare say it is indeed the node of which Graha spoke. And it was chirping, you say? Very well, let's take a closer look. I gotta turn off my name. Display never. I don't need my name. I know my name. I know my own name. Oh, here's my gold. I don't know if I don't think I showed this off last time. I don't know if I had this last time I made a video. My gold Magitech that I got for let's see, 500 player commendations. Pretty sweet. Blip, do you wish to operate the dragon restraint mechanisms? Blip bloop, you do not have the requisite access privileges. Operation of the dragon restraint mechanisms may only be undertaken by the chief technologist and members of the royal family. Or those with a vessel full of royal blood, perhaps. Let's do it. Load it up, baby. New user detected. Commencing biometric authentication. Authentication complete. User identified as member of the royal family. Please state your name. Mangg. That's a royal name. Welcome, Mangg. You may operate the dragon restraint mechanisms when ready. Blip. Error. Unable to disengage restraints of the specimen Tiamat. A system update is required. A system update? What do you suppose it is asking of us? I could hazard a guess. Smash it to pieces. That's not the Mangg way. Well, that's more than I can say. Confounded bloody thing. User agitation detected. Initiating guidance program. Bloop. In order to operate the restraint mechanism, I require access to the central control system. However, I am unable to establish a link to said system due to the obsolescence of my own software. This issue can be resolved by applying a system update using the corresponding terminal located within the flagship. So, can this thing release the restraints or not? It can, but only once it has received the requisite system update, as far as I can tell. Till which time it'll float there spewing nonsense. User dissatisfaction detected. Initiating placation protocols. Bloop. I am here to help. Rest assured that I will be on hand to guide you through every step of the system update process. How gratifying. But I dare say we'll fare better with guidance than without it. Alright. Alright, I'm gonna leave it off there, right around the hour mark. I know we used to go much longer, but that's good for right now. And plenty more 5.5 content to go. My name is Mangg. Game you're watching has been Final Fantasy XIV. See you fine folks in the next part.